Halo semua, halo teman-teman, hello friends, and hi all. So that was my greetings in Indonesia, and now we are back to English. I'll try to add subtitle for my Indonesian friends later, maybe next month, because I'm still busy translating at least 10 first episode of Belajar.net. Okay, now we are back to Visual.net and its ecosystem news and updates. Now we are in episode 3, hopefully. It seems like there are too many news to be discussed and to be decided, but I have my own choices, which one is for me is considered worthy to be discussed, and I think at least these four topics. One is we are going to discuss what happened on Microsoft Build Conference 2025, which is about 2 weeks ago, I think. Oh, no, no, almost 10 days ago. And now we are going to also discuss GitHub Copilot new cool features. Part of the new features is already been discussed in the Microsoft Build, of course. And then we also have two amazing news. It is also worthy to be not just try to keep up, but also try to make sense of it. Not just having happy or being happy or excited. I think it is too simple to do that. But at least from my own perspective. The next one is the open source of Visual Studio Code Copilot extension. And then we have now also WSL2, which is Windows Subsystem for Linux Release 2, which is the component that is being available since Windows 10. I think Windows 10 22H2 or 22H1. I forgot. But the release of WSL that is now in the Windows 11 that I have now, and I think you should have it too if you use Windows, because Windows 10 is out of support. Now we have Windows 11, and the WSL that is available in Windows 11 is WSL version 2, and it is now open source. So previously, WSL is not open source. The component itself, the Linux distribution is open source on top of the WSL, but now we have WSL2 is open source. So we expect to see lots of progress, especially it should be faster in progress, because when you have something to be open source, meaning that you have to always monitor for feedback, bug reports and issues and so on, but at the same time you will have the help from those that use your product, especially those that not just using your product but also loving your product as well, and be prepared to have some what is the term for that, some amazing experience, like having a joyride or having a popular open source project. Keeping up with the issues, bug reports, feedbacks, and so on. But that would be another discussion. Right now, I'm going to start the news and updates for these 2 weeks. First, the discussion of the MS Build 2025. Okay, I'm going to go to my browser. Let me switch to Microsoft Edge. Okay, now we have Microsoft Build. This is the page of Microsoft Build. Actually, you could go starting from the build.microsoft.com, and this is my own curation related to this video, of course. This is this video showing is the video of a keynote of day 2, and I think it's related to the next topic, but let me tell you about this Microsoft Build 2025. It is, of course, usually centered around the software development or application development, whether you are using Visual Studio or you are using Visual Studio Code or maybe other IDE as well, because I think Microsoft is already open to present these other kinds of IDE since Microsoft Build 2024. But now we are very excited to have more open. And if you look at the agenda here, let me open the session catalog. You'll see that you have a nice mix of Azure and Visual Studio and .NET content here. But let me try to make it more like focusing on Visual Studio. I think it's not related to the topic developer tools and .NET, and also you can choose more than one, such as both of the developer tools, .NET and cloud platform. But for this news, I'm more focusing. I know it is according to my own a little bit subjective of me, but this is very cool. So you can start from modernization your apps using AI, and then you have agentic AI with DevOps, because DevOps is one of my specialization. And you can code directly live. You have VS Code live here. The other next thing to me is more interesting is the discussion about the collaborative development with GitHub Copilot. More like agentic AI, and also okay. Let me see if I could show more sessions. Okay, there's see. I have 12, 24. Okay, I'll try to show at least one page is showing 24 results. Okay, now we have more than 12 here. Okay, this one is also interesting, but I haven't seen it. LLM, large language model. This is something is closely related to AI, because knowing or understanding LLM is also part of the AI discipline. But I'm focusing more on this one. What is next in C sharp? And also something about Aspire, I think, and GitHub Copilot. Okay, let me try to display more than 24. I will have a slower pace, but I can see more instead of going through many pagination of results. Okay, let's see what's next in C sharp, GitHub Copilot. And this is also interesting. The future of .NET app modernization streamlined with AI. I have seen it and it's very cool. It's not just presenting GitHub Copilot, but also having to know the experience itself when you are developing your app. You have already an assistant that not just helping you, but also trying to understand what you are currently building. It can understand the whole workspace, but at the same time, you need to teach the GitHub Copilot. You need to give the right prompt. You need to give the right questions before you will get the answer that you really need. Maybe I'll try to allocate some time to have one or two videos about that. But you can also already see many videos already talk and discuss about this. Or maybe there was no Indonesian videos. I'll try to make one later. And we have all of the nice things. Oh, HPC, high performance computing, is more like having some kind of a cluster computing. But to me, it's not quite interesting because I don't know how to leverage that on my own local environment. So this one is nice, making Azure DevOps and GitHub greater than the sum of their parts. They try to they try to not just explaining that Azure DevOps and GitHub are not, exactly competing each other, but also leveraging Azure DevOps coexist with the GitHub, and at the same time leveraging GitHub Copilot to further enhance your experience, including not just giving suggestions, but also is the features of having Copilot really assist you, not just the code itself, but also part of the server development process itself, like suggesting README or even creating its own pull request. Something that is very cool, but unfortunately, I don't have the time to really try it yet because I need to prepare a specific repo for that in order to get the correct experience, which is something I'm still learning. Okay, now all of the other sessions, actually, most of them are nice. We have some kind of tips and tricks like top killer Copilot features you missed in Visual Studio 2022. Yes, we are now using 2022. And this one is also .NET Aspire, which is something that I already presented in Microsoft Reactor. I know it's in Indonesian language, but it's pretty close. Right now, we have a version of 9.3. In my previous presentation, I presented the .NET Aspire 9.2. Now we have 9.3. The the nice thing about the version 9.3 is you have a assistant directly inside the Aspire because you will have GitHub Copilot, which is nice. But at the same time, you have to remember, you have to take note that GitHub Copilot is free for certain number of chat and tokens. I don't I don't remember exactly the numbers, but yeah, it is not completely free. So I think you should check your usage. And then we have ARD Express, Copilot Studio New SDK. Yeah, that is cool. This one is related to AKS. I don't know. This one is not exactly for software development, but yeah, I'll skip it. It's more like a operation instead of true software development. Then we have some kind of tips and trick debugging inside the Visual Studio with the help of Copilot. Yeah, I already seen this and it's very cool. Although it doesn't really trying to help you. What if I use different language or different environment like other than .NET? Because if Microsoft can provide that, that would be very cool. And yeah, we have this topic here: 10 times TypeScript, faster TypeScript with Anders Hellberg. Is this announcement is already there before Microsoft built? There is a video on the Microsoft developer YouTube channel that says faster JavaScript. This is the channel, Microsoft developer, and this is the actual playlist. I'll give you the playlist after this. Okay, so you could see it on your own because very very packed with the nice, not just nice asset, but also nice demo, and I guarantee you it's more technical instead of marketing mambo jambo. Okay, now I don't think we have another. Oh, this one is also nice. I have seen this. I have watched this. Visual Studio Story: How We Build Software Loved by Millions of Developers. Yes, I look and at the historical point of view of Visual Studio, why it is now it's proven taking a lot of developers' heart. It not just me, but also I think most of you that use Visual Studio agree that it is still better than other kinds of IDEs at the moment. Even if you use Visual Studio for Python, it is still better than, let's say, if you use other IDE such as Eclipse or and others. I think the other one is, I forgot the name, unfortunately. Yeah, but I know that Eclipse is better than, you code Java inside Visual Studio Code. It is still better because it knows really Java. It understands Java well. It has much years of experience, better years of experience than Visual Studio Code running on Java. Oh no, Java running on Visual Studio Code. Sorry. We have Maui. Unfortunately, I'm still learning Maui, so I don't know whether I could demo it to you quickly after this, but I'll try. The next thing is Copilot. Yes, I already I think this video. So this video is showing that you can create pull requests using Copilot.
But also provide setup instructions. So Copilot got to work here, and I'm going to click on this, just show you what it started to work on here. So here's the new request that it's working on. You can see that Copilot started work on behalf of me. Now it's going to take some time to go pull this together. So this was helpful, and it's a fast way for me to ramp up as being a new person in the team. But let's dive into our tools a little bit more so that we can show you how to take these tools so that we can develop faster. And for that, I want to welcome my colleague, Jessica.
This is Jessica Dean.
Hi, Jessica.
Previously,
Hi,
she
how's it
was
going?
Good, you?
Doing great. Hi, everyone.
senior cloud advocate.
Yep, ready to do some stuff. Yep.
Now,
Good morning,
she is-
everyone. My name is
she is a
Jessica,
senior
and I'm
developer
a developer, which
on GitHub. But
mostly
basically,
means I
GitHub
spend
and
a lot
Microsoft
of time
is
asking
the
myself,
same.
who broke this? And then realizing it was me. Okay, I'm in VS Code, and with the GitHub extension, I've got all my issues and PRs right here in the editor, which is great until someone decides that I'm the expert and creates the kind of issue that looks simple until it most definitely is not. So let's do what every good developer does with a long backlog. You're absolutely right. Immediately look for something we can pawn off. All right, first up, we have input validation. What do you think, Jay?
No.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I'm going to have to escalate this to not me. Copilot, you're up. I believe in you.
So you can see here that you can assign issues directly to Copilot, and then Copilot will then try to do some work, and after that, Copilot will try to submit a PR, which is very cool. And again, I haven't got the chance to fully try it yet, but this is very cool. And on my own quick try, yeah, I can assign to Copilot. But some of the things are not clear yet to me. Like, is it totally free? Or if it is free, what kind of maximum limit do I have in order to keep using it as a free? So, yeah, I will tell you if I have some answers or conclusion after that. But this is very cool, and that concludes my build and GitHub Copilot. Now let's move on to the open source of Visual Studio Code extension. So I have already opened. Okay, this is a Visual Studio Code blog, and this is the long version of that, focusing on the open sourcing the AI editor. Previously, we all know that GitHub Copilot is not open source. I mean, for the extension for Visual Studio Code. Now it is open source. I will create a new tab here. You go to this GitHub Copilot chat, and you will see that there should be a link directly to the project. There you are. You will have a Microsoft/VS Code Copilot release. This is the source code. Oh, no, this is the feedback. Where is this actual source code? Okay. Okay. Oh, they said we will. Hmm. It's like having some kind of gimmick. There should be one. I don't know whether is it mistaken or there should be one. But as they promised, they should bring this as soon as possible because otherwise people will shout at Microsoft and they will face some backlash. But yeah, I welcome this good news. And then the next one is the open sourcing the WSL, the Windows Subsystem for Linux. Okay, maybe I'll try to directly search on Bing. Open source. There you are. We have now. Whoa, where is the? No, this is the Microsoft Docs. Okay, let me click this. I just try to. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, the exact link is this. There, you have the source code of WSL. This is WSL2, and the exact version numbers is 2.5.7. And this is the WSL2 that is used in Windows 11. I don't know whether you can directly install this. I haven't tried that honestly, but having this as open source, meaning that you can check the exact, not just the mechanical or internal work of WSL, but also you can make some contributions, participations, maybe pull requests if you have the guts to do that, because it is not easy to, to understand honestly. You are working on Windows, but you also have to know many things about the internal of Linux kernel and so on, including the bridging between the subsystem of that under the Hyper-V of Windows, talking to Linux kernel or distribution. So, but yeah, but you if you have the brain to go do it, I believe you can do it, and I hope I can do it too because this is interesting to me. Having something that is very good and also nice to know, like who doesn't like having Windows running Linux, for example, but having exactly the source code and the internal working of that, knowing that is very nice, totally nice, and you can start to, yeah, maybe make this WSL much better because now the progress will be faster instead of having a closed source or proprietary thing. Okay, I have discussed all of those, including the WSL. That's it. That is the newsworthy of these 2 weeks. And I hope to see you again in the next 2 weeks, or maybe next week if there is a good news that is very, not just very good to discuss, but also I have to keep up with that. I think there is one because there is, I think, something related to Azure, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. And in order to keep up with me and in order to know that I have some update, don't forget to like this video if you enjoy. Don't forget to also subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And then please share my channel, please share my videos, especially those if you are Indonesian, please share my Belajar.net videos. I'll try to keep up with the weekly updates and also sometimes twice a week because now I'm entering the complex topics such as parallel and async in .NET. Hopefully you will enjoy. And don't forget, coding is happiness, and you should have it too because if you code, if you passion is that, you will be happy. And I'll see you in next 2 weeks. Bye bye.